Every so often, I stumble across a game that has completely escaped my radar. I'm always looking for new development teams or upcoming game titles that may not get the love and attention they deserve. Now, today's game overview focuses on an upcoming action-adventure game from a fairly new game studio. However, this studio looks to be packed with veteran developers, and their upcoming fantasy game looks absolutely incredible. Now, the game is titled Eternal Strands. It's got a release date of January 28th of next year. It's coming out for the PC, the Xbox, and the PlayStation, and the dev team says it's coming to Game Pass day one. Now, the genre is a third-person action-adventure game, and is developed and published by Yellow Brick Games. Now, Eternal Strands places us in charge of a fearless weaver named Bryn. She is armed with an arsenal of magical abilities and weaponry, while also boasting the ability to manipulate the environment and temperature in battle. Along the way, we must face off against towering enemies, explore the world to uncover secrets, and of course level up our abilities and equipment to delve deeper into the lost mysteries of the Enclave. So while watching the trailers about this game, it really gives me some familiar aspects with games like Black Myth Wukong, the scaling of the walls and the buildings look and feel of maybe like Assassin's Creed, and even the environment manipulation akin to something that you might find in Portal. But Eternal Strands just looks and feels like it does so many things right and goes one notch above. And although it may have some similarities to games we are all familiar with, it also introduces a new system for gameplay interactions such as heat spreading, cold freezing, and real-time destruction, allowing for some pretty insane combat. Now, the dev team states that we can hurl tree trunks at enemies with telekinetic powers, snap trees to block opposing fire, and channel raw telekinetic force to rip boulders from the ground. Now, this all sounds pretty damn amazing to me. Now, aside from the traditional combat moves and telekinetic power Bryn offers up, we will also be wearing a magical cloak that channels raw magic into fire, ice, and of course, telekinetic force. Now, alongside our cloak, we can enchant and craft weapons and armor to bolster our playable character, while also creating a custom look and style that fits your playstyle. Now, many of these changes can be made from a base camp, where we can visit with NPCs, each offering up something to benefit our playable character. Now, facing off against these massive adversaries throughout the game will take a combined effort and mix of sword, spell, and mobility play. Now, we must learn to weave our abilities and movements together to overcome our enemies. Now, one thing that really caught my eye from the gameplay is the ability to leap onto the enemy and attack from different angles while finding weak spots. Now, the dev team also tells us that during combat, we will be able to use ice to pin limbs of a towering foe, shoot arcane flames to burn their fur, or catch lobbed projectiles and turn their attacks back on the enemy in battles. Now, I can see some really awesome fights in the future with this game. And although our magical abilities will be deadly against our adversaries, we can also use them to help with traversal. Now, for example, we can use ice abilities to freeze gaps in the landscape to create new paths to further our journey, or launch ourselves across the map with other magical abilities. Now, speaking of traversal, the dev team also says that every surface in the game will be climbable, so players can get creative with how they explore the map and pretty much go about the game as we see fit to uncover a rich world full of secrets. Now, to me, guys, this is one game that should be wish-listed immediately, not to mention the fact that it's coming to Game Pass on day one. So Eternal Strands looks like such a solid action-adventure title that we can all get excited about.
Hello, I'm Mike Laidlaw, Chief Creative Officer at Yellow Brick Games, and welcome to the world of Eternal Strands, a new fantasy action-adventure game where the world around you is your weapon. In Eternal Strands, you will embark on your journey as a young, magic-wielding weaver named Bryn. She seeks to unravel the secrets of the Enclave, a once thriving center of magic, now left in ruins. At your base camp, you'll forge bonds with members of your Weaver Band, who will support you in your expeditions with their various skills.
You've worked hard for this, and I have faith in you.
Select your next quest and customize your gear before venturing out through the Loom Gate on your way to discover the fate of these shattered lands. In the Enclave, you can climb and interact with nearly everything you see. The mantle, the magical cloak on your back, grants you control over frost, flame, and kinetic magic. Combine these elements in creative ways to manipulate the environment to your advantage and defeat your foes. But the Enclave's foes come in all sizes. Behold, an Ark. This colossal 25-meter construct wields immense power.
Is she really ready to fight that thing?
Pick your battles. Rather than risking your loot, return to base camp. A day has passed. Reforge your gear with your hard-earned resources to even the odds against the mighty epics. No two battles are the same, as epics roam freely between maps, and extreme weather alters the battlefield in this true physics playground. Harvesting strands from these formidable adversaries allows you to weave new abilities into your mantle. With new powers at your command, and the world as your weapon, you hold the key to uncovering the mysteries of the Enclave. Take up the mantle in Eternal Strands.